remember show and tell in grade school, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. Oh, yeah.
Anything you took?
Anything in particular?
Yeah.
Not that I was allowed to, but anyway. Today we're doing our own version of show and tell, Delmarva style, and who other than WBOC's Charlie Paparella would bring in something so cool that is worthy of showing off.
That's very kind of you.
Thank you for joining us, Charlie.
Here.
So, what did you bring?
Books that you can find in junk shops. And
Really?
I shouldn't call it a junk shop. Antique stores and bookshops, old bookshops. You know, you're going at Christmas time and you go in the mall, and it's like if you're a normal guy and you walk in the mall, you go, oh! Like, what all this for? So anyway, there are a lot of really great old books out there that people don't know about. This is the best one. If you look around, try to find this book right here. It's called The Entailed Hat. Now, this is a new version of a very old book. It's been printed like maybe 8 different times. Find the old version, the old hardcover version. It's a marvelous book to read. It's an amazing story.
It's a local story.
It's a local story that takes place in Princess Anne at the old Iron Furnace, Snow Hill, and it's really the dark underbelly of the aristocracy of old Somerset. It's really a great story.
Wow, okay.
Now, when you're looking around out there, you might run across this great book here. It's called The Parson of the Islands, and it's about Joshua Thomas. And surprisingly, it's a very exciting book because Joshua Thomas was on Tangier Island when the Brits landed during the War of 1812. And he's surrounded by British troops, and he's preaching to them, and he tells them, when you go to Baltimore, you're going to lose, so you better make your deal with your maker now.
Yeah.
And it really disheartened the British troops, since one of the reasons they lost in Baltimore is they were told they were going to lose by a preacher. So who does that?
How about that?
Okay. Salisbury in Times Gone By Richard Cooper. You want to know about the history of this town? It's amazing. And it all started because Mr. Cooper was a surveyor and engineer, and he stumbled across these stones when they were building this building, which is where the Daily Times once was, and it was a high school there. And he got curious about these and found out all this stuff and became one of Salisbury's greatest historians. Anything that you see by Kirk Mariner, he's the Eastern Shore, Virginia writer. Great guy who really knows Eastern Shore, Virginia. And these books are all over the place. You might find a copy of Steinbeck Travels with Charlie.
Now, that's not a local one, is it?
Well, no, but he stole this from me.
Oh, okay.
And so we've been in litigation, but he's dead.
Try to work that out. Okay, well.
You can't work that out.
Yeah.
Now, there's another category here. These are great. You go down to the Accomack County Court's office, the clerk of court, and they have the oldest continuous court records in America down there in Accomack County, which is remarkable. And they're so old, they printed this little book. It's called Exploring the Oldest Continuous Court Records of America.
What a remarkable
Very creative name.
Yeah.
But it includes things like Daniel Boone's visit to Delmarva.
No.
And court cases. This is, I don't know if you can see that, but this is what these court cases looked like.
Oh,
they
my
were written by hand, and they've been transcribed, and it's just remarkable what took place back then, what was normal, what was considered reasonable. Remember back then, women were property? That's not true anymore, by the way.
Oh,
no,
okay.
No, it's not.
It's switched around.
Yeah, all right. Okay, yeah.
Anyway, but you can get these other things down there. The land tax, this is beautiful. What is it called? Northampton County, Virginia, the 1850 census and the mortality schedule, which is a list of everything that people died from back then. And that's hilarious. I mean, it sounds sad. But people mostly died from ague, right? From dropsy. They had, you know, this was before they even knew about germs. And now if you know, there's one of the French kings who was very sick, so they called in his physicians and they killed him.
Oh, my.
With the treatments, they bled his neck, and they bled his foot. They put worms in his ears and stuff like that. And they finally killed him. It's somewhat better now.
Well, it's a little bit. So what else have you found on your travels that?
Oh, this one. Now, this really want to look for. During the WPA projects of the late 30s, when the New Deal and all, they put everybody to work. They put artists to work, they put writers to work, and writers produced one of these for every state in the Union. This is a remarkable book that was published in 1938. It's called Delaware, part of the American Guide series. Now, this is fantastic because it describes every town in Delaware before anybody knew there was a Delaware.
Huh.
Which some people don't still, but it's just marvelous because it gives you a driving tour from Route 13 down from Wilmington, and to Kitts Hummock and all these places where there might have been 100 people. So it gives you a good idea. And there's one for Maryland, there's one for Virginia, Colorado. Only 48, though, because in 1938 there were. You deserve that.
That's a good read for Delaware today.
Oh, it's
Delaware
great.
Day today.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You like this stuff. We know you like this stuff, but we also know that you love music.
I do indeed.
We're not letting you get away just yet. We need some music.